Hi, hello, and welcome to another interesting session on analog and digital communication. In today's session, we'll see the frequency modulation and demodulation by using the waveforms and equations. So, let's get started. So, as we all know, frequency modulation. In frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier signal varies in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal. So here the instantaneous frequency, you can write it as omega t is equal to d by dt of theta of t. Here let theta of t is equal to omega ct, which is the, we can substitute this in the instantaneous frequency of s of t is equal to cos omega ct. So when you differentiate this d by dt of omega ct, we get omega c. So this is the instantaneous frequency of an FM wave with the carrier frequency omega c for a baseband message m of t. We can write this as omega t is equal to omega c plus kW into m of t. Here kW is a constant which is known as the frequency sensitivity. So we can use an oscillator here whose frequency is controlled by its input, which is known as the voltage controlled oscillator. So the angle of the frequency modulated signal can be written as theta of t is equal to integral omega of tau into d tau, which is equal to omega ct plus theta m into t. Here this theta m is equal to k omega integral of 0 to t into m of tau into d tau. This is the carrier phase deviation which is caused by the message signal m of t. So the FM signal generated by m of t can be written as s of t is equal to ac cos of omega ct plus theta m of t. So these are the waveforms for an FM signal or a frequency modulated signal. You can see this is a very high frequency carrier which is denoted as AC cos omega ct. Then we have the modulating signal or the message signal, which is a very low frequency signal denoted by AM sin omega mt. So when both of these two signals are applied to a frequency modulator, we get a frequency modulated signal. As you can see in this waveform, we have two different frequencies. One is a low frequency signal, the other one is a very high frequency signal. So wherever the amplitude of the message signal is very high, the output is the output of the FM signal is increased, and wherever it is low, it is decreased. So this is the required frequency modulated signal. Sorry, this should be here and this should be here. At higher amplitudes, we get a high value of frequencies, and at low amplitudes of the message signal, the frequency is decreased. Next we will see the single tone frequency modulation. The single tone frequency modulation differs from the general frequency modulation in that in the single tone frequency modulation, the message signal has only a single frequency. It is having a only constant frequency of omega m. Whereas if you take the other frequency modulation, in that case there may be different number of frequencies in the message signal. But when it comes to single tone frequency modulation, here the message signal is having only a constant frequency of omega m. So this is the equation for single tone FM modulation. S of t is equal to AC cos omega ct plus kW into AM by omega m into sin omega t. Here beta is known as the modulation index, which is defined as kW AM by omega m. Here in the numerator we have both of these two terms, kW multiplied by AM. This is known as the maximum frequency deviation, and omega m is the modulating frequency. So you can see the example of a single tone FM or a single tone frequency modulated signal. This is similar to the previous case also. If you see here, wherever the amplitude of the modulated signal is high, there is increase in the carrier frequency, and wherever the amplitude is very less, there is a decrease in the frequency. So to calculate the bandwidth of an FM signal, we can use the formula which is known as the Carson's rule. According to Carson's rule, we write this formula: the bandwidth of an FM signal is equal to twice of the frequency deviation plus the maximum frequency present in the message signal. So here delta F is known as the maximum frequency deviation, and FM is the maximum frequency present in the message signal or the modulating signal. So to demodulate the frequency modulated signal, these are the steps which are carried out. An output signal which is having an amplitude directly proportional to the instantaneous frequency of the FM wave is first obtained. Then this signal which is obtained in the first step is detected or demodulated by using a diode detector. So basically we have two methods of frequency demodulation or detection. One is the direct method, the second one is the indirect method. So in direct method, we use frequency discriminators and zero crossing detectors. Example of direct method of FM demodulation is the phase lock loop. So the FM demodulators, they change the frequency deviation of the incoming carrier into an audio frequency amplitude variation. This is similar to the one that originally caused the frequency deviation. So this is the diagram of a balanced slope detector. You can see two slope detector circuits. We have the upper slope detector and the lower slope detector. The input signal is passed through a tuned circuit. Here we have a transformer. The input is connected to the primary of the transformer, and it is the center tap is connected at this point. So we have two diodes D1 and D2, two resistors, two capacitors, and the output is taken at these 2 points. We can see the two balanced slope detectors which are connected back to back to the opposite ends of a center tap transformer. So here you can see the center tap transformer. So the input is fed to the upper and lower detectors, lower slope detectors. So if you are feeding an input of x of t here, the other slope detector or to the second diode, it is shifted in phase by 180 degrees. So the input of the transformer, that is the primary of the transformer, is tuned to a frequency of Fc, and the upper secondary tuned circuit, you can see the upper secondary tuned circuit, this is tuned to a frequency of Fc plus delta F, and the lower slope detector or the lower part of this circuit diagram is tuned to a frequency of Fc minus delta F. Here delta F is the frequency deviation. So both of these two secondary circuits are connected to a diode detector with an RC load. So you can see the upper secondary of the transformer is connected to the diode D1, the lower secondary is connected to the diode detector D2. We have the load resistance and the capacitance at the output points. So now we can take three conditions here when the incoming frequency. So here this is a detector or a demodulator. So the input to a demodulator is the modulated signal which is coming from the output of the modulator. So this if the input signal frequency, that is the modulated FM signal frequency, is equal to Fc, if this frequency is applied to the diodes, if it is applied to the primary of the transformer, in this case the voltage which is applied to the diodes D1 and D2 will be same, that is same voltage will be applied, but they will be the input to the second diode will be out of phase. Hence, the output of the detector, at the output of the detector, both of these two voltages cancel each other. Hence, the detector output will be equal to 0. So, this is the first condition. That means, whenever we apply any input signal, any incoming FM signal which is having a frequency of FC, only FC, there is no deviation. If you see here, if this voltage is applied, then the voltage which is applied to both the diodes D1 and D2 will be the same, but it will be 180 degrees out of phase to the second diode D2. So in such case, at the output of the detector, both of these two voltages will be subtracted, as both of them are same in magnitude but opposite in phase. They get cancelled at the output of the detector. So this is the first condition. So in the second case, if we apply an input frequency of Fc plus delta F, in this case the output of the diode D1 will be very large and the output of the diode D2 will be very small. Now in the third case, if the input frequency is Fc minus delta F, so in this case the output of the diode D2 will be a large negative voltage and the output D1 will be a very small positive voltage. So in the second case, if you see, the final output of the balanced detector will be a positive voltage. So in this third case, the output of the balanced detector will be a negative voltage, as the input given is Fc minus delta F, as the diode D2 is connected to the second half of the center tap transformer. So in this case, the final output of the balanced lobe detector will be a small positive voltage, will be a large negative voltage, and D1 output will be a small positive voltage. So this is the third case. Now in the fourth case, if you apply an input between both of these two values, that is the mid value between Fc plus delta F and Fc minus delta F, in such case the output will have some middle value of both of these two outputs, that is the outputs in the second case and the third case. So these are the characteristics. If you can see, during the positive part, during this part, the input voltage, the input signal frequency will be Fc plus delta F. In such case, we get this part as the output. In the third case, where the input is input signal frequency is Fc minus delta F, in this case the output of the balanced detector will be a negative value. So in the both of these two conditions, we get the shape as in the form of S. So this is the required S-shape characteristics, which is the output of the balanced slope detector. So that's it in this video. Thank you.